My name is Emily Carter, and I was 36 years old when a dog owner emailed me photos of her golden retriever's injured paw and asked why my signature was on the care plan for a pet spa service I had never supervised, never approved, and never even known had happened. I was sitting at my kitchen table in Portland, Maine, after a long day at the clinic and an evening animal rescue workshop on safe grooming, medication disclosure, and pet owner consent, with a stack of handouts still in my tote bag and the small blue paw print keychain from my first shelter mentor resting beside my laptop. The subject line said, "Question about Daisy's grooming injury." I opened it expecting a simple follow-up from one of the rescue volunteers who had attended my workshop. Instead, the first sentence made my whole body go still. "Dr. Carter, I was told you supervised Daisy's wellness grooming plan at Harbor Paws Pet Spa. She was injured during her appointment, and I need to understand why the care form with your signature did not match what happened." Attached were photos of a limping golden retriever named Daisy, a pet intake form, a grooming incident report, and a complaint letter drafted for the State Veterinary Board. At the bottom of the intake form was my name, Dr. Emily Carter, Veterinary Supervisor, my license number, my copied signature, not my current signature, but one lifted from an old shelter intake checklist I had once shown my sister as an example of how proper animal records should be documented. I sat there staring at that page while my stomach turned cold because I knew instantly what had happened. My sister had used my veterinary license to make her pet spa look safer than it was, and now an injured dog had my name attached to the lie. Before I tell you how I walked into a state veterinary board review 5 days later with website screenshots, copied signature proof, incident logs, and my mentor's handwritten note in one folder, tell me this. What time is it where you are right now, and where are you watching from? I want to know how far this story travels before I tell you what happens when a family says, "Help your sister build her dream," but really means, "Lend her your clean name, reassure paying pet owners, and absorb the fallout when an animal gets hurt." Because Daisy's injury complaint was not the beginning. It was only the first document honest enough to say what my family had been doing to me for years. Lauren was my younger sister by 2 years, and from the outside, she was exactly the kind of woman people loved to trust. She was warm, emotional, pretty, easy to talk to, and naturally gifted at sounding compassionate. She could make a stranger feel seen within 60 seconds. My mother Vivian called that a mother's heart. My father Robert called it a people gift. I called it charisma, because I had watched it rescue Lauren from consequences since we were children. She forgot commitments, made impulsive decisions, overpromised, and then looked heartbroken enough that someone else always stepped in to save her. Usually me. I was the serious one, the one who remembered, the one who made lists, the one who showed up early, read forms, checked records, asked questions, and got called rigid whenever I noticed the missing step everyone else was hoping to skip. When we were little, Lauren volunteered to pet sit neighborhood dogs and then forgot feeding times. I was the one who made the chart and biked over to make sure the water bowls were full. When she agreed to help the church with a weekend adoption fundraiser and overslept, I was the one who arrived early and set up crates because my mother said, "Lauren means well, Emily. Don't embarrass her." That sentence followed me for most of my life. Don't embarrass Lauren. Don't make her feel judged. Don't make her feel small. Nobody ever said, "Don't make Emily responsible for the cleanup." The family hierarchy got worse once Lauren had children. Suddenly, she was not just warm, she was sacred. She was a mother, a woman carrying so much, a woman building a future. I was a veterinarian, licensed, respected, careful, and childless. In my family, that meant my work counted less emotionally and my time counted less morally. It meant Lauren's chaos was always urgent, while my boundaries were always negotiable. At 29, I missed a second-round interview for a shelter veterinary position because Lauren dropped her children and her anxious terrier at my apartment during what she called a business emergency. The emergency turned out to be a last-minute meeting with a possible investor for her first attempt at a pet-related business, a dog walking company that collapsed within 3 months. I remember standing there in interview clothes, one child crying because the terrier had snapped at his toy, another asking for juice, and my mother on the phone saying, "Lauren has more at stake than you do right now. She has kids. Help her." I missed the interview. Lauren posted that afternoon about dreaming big for my babies. My mother commented with heart emojis. That was my family in one scene. Lauren's ambitions became noble because she had children. My career became flexible because it only belonged to me. My anchor, the person who taught me what responsibility actually looked like, was Dr. Rosa Bennett, the shelter veterinarian who trained me during my internship. Rosa was small, silver-haired, sharp-eyed, and gentle with frightened animals in a way that made even the most aggressive rescue dogs soften around her. She also had absolutely no patience for people using soothing language to cover sloppy care. During my first month at the shelter, I once described a mild grooming abrasion on a rescued spaniel as nothing serious. Rosa looked at me over her glasses and said, "Pain that is invisible to humans is still pain." Then she gave me the sentence that shaped the entire rest of my career. A veterinary license is not comfort language. It is a promise that an animal's pain will not be hidden. I wrote that in my notebook and carried it with me for years. When I helped save an injured rescue dog who had been neglected so badly he could barely stand, Rosa gave me a small blue paw print keychain. "For your keys," she said, "so you never forget that trust is usually handed to us by creatures who cannot explain where it hurts." Inside the little box, she wrote another note: "Never let anyone use your name where your eyes have not looked." I kept that keychain on my desk because it reminded me that my license was not just a professional achievement, it was a promise. Lauren loved animals. I will give her that. She was good with nervous dogs. She had a soft touch with older pets and a playful energy with puppies. But loving animals is not the same as running a safe pet care business. Harbor Paws Pet Spa started as Lauren's dream of a cozy place where pets are treated like family. There is nothing wrong with that idea on its own. The problem was everything she wanted to skip: intake forms, vaccination records, emergency contacts, behavioral warnings, medication disclosures, injury logs, grooming protocols, when to refer a pet out for veterinary care, when not to force a difficult groom, when a dog's stress level changes from manageable to dangerous, when a skin condition, hot spot, limp, or pain response means you stop and call the owner. Lauren thought warmth could cover the rest. She thought being kind was enough. My mother helped feed that delusion by introducing Harbor Paws to everyone as vet-guided pet care, even though I had never agreed to supervise anything. When I pushed back, my father gave me his usual line: "Stop turning pet care into a legal problem." I still helped more than I should have. That is the truth I have to own. I reviewed a sample intake form. I told Lauren what to add and what to remove. I explained why emergency contact confirmation mattered, why vaccine records mattered, why elderly dogs and anxious dogs needed different handling, why sedation language should never be casually implied, and why no one should ever suggest veterinary oversight without actual veterinary oversight. I texted her clearly because Rosa had taught me that people forget boundaries selectively once money arrives. "You may not use my name, veterinary title, license number, signature, clinic, professional bio, or imply that I supervise Harbor Paws. General advice only. No veterinary supervision, no license use, no signature use." Lauren replied, "Okay, I know." My mother replied separately, You make helping sound like a contract. I stared at that text for a long time, because contracts exist for exactly the kind of people who think warmth excuses unauthorized use. The inciting humiliation happened at Harbor Paw's grand opening brunch. There were pastel dog cookies, tiny blue paw print balloons, a selfie wall that said, "Pets are family," and a line of women from church acting like Lauren had opened the first humane business in American history. I arrived after speaking at an animal rescue workshop and immediately saw the welcome packets on the reception counter. On the front page was a paragraph that made my hand tighten around the paper. Harbor Paws offers veterinarian-guided wellness grooming with protocols supported by Dr. Emily Carter. My professional bio had been shortened and softened, but it was unmistakably mine. I pulled Lauren aside and said, "Take my name off this today." She gave me that patient little smile she used whenever she wanted the room to think I was difficult. It just reassures people. It lies to people. My mother materialized beside us almost instantly, as if she had been waiting to see which way the performance would go. "Not today, Emily," she said. Then she clinked a spoon against a glass and called everyone's attention. "I just want to say how proud I am of Lauren," she said. "She has built a business with a mother's heart. She is caring for pets like they are family, and Emily should be grateful too, because her unused vet license is finally helping a real family build something beautiful." A few people laughed politely. My face went hot. Then my mother looked straight at me and said, "You have no kids, Emily. Let your license help someone who actually has a family to build." The room went quiet in that thin, ugly way polite rooms go quiet when someone says the truth of the family system out loud. Lauren looked down, but did not correct her. My father muttered from near the refreshment table, "Don't make a scene." I said, "My license is not a family favor." Lauren whispered, "Please don't ruin this." I held up the packet. "You already are if this stays." Then I left before my tone became the crime and their lie became the victim. In the parking lot, I sat in my car with the blue paw print keychain in my hand, breathing through the old familiar anger. At the time, I thought the worst part was the insult. It wasn't. The worst part was realizing they meant it. My work was unused unless Lauren benefited from it. My clean record was selfish unless she could monetize it. My veterinary license was not seen as my responsibility. It was seen as family property I was emotionally hoarding. Daisy's owner, a woman named Karen Delaney, emailed me 9 weeks later. Her golden retriever had been booked for a premium wellness grooming session through Harbor Paws, a higher-priced package marketed as veterinarian-guided and especially safe for anxious dogs. Karen wrote that Daisy had become distressed during the appointment and was later sent home favoring one leg with an abrasion on her paw and clear signs of stress. She attached a grooming incident note and an intake sheet showing, "Reviewed under veterinary supervision by Dr. Emily Carter." My name sat under it like a lie wearing a stethoscope. The incident log was thin, almost offensively vague. Pet became resistant during handling. Minor paw sensitivity noted. Minor paw sensitivity. The photo showed swelling and a raw scrape on Daisy's paw pad. There were also gaps in the intake. Emergency contact incomplete. No full behavioral notes. A missed section on prior restraint sensitivity. No documented owner call before the session continued. Worst of all, the premium service fee included an added veterinary guided care charge. My name had not only been used to reassure owners, it had been sold. I called Rosa before I called anyone in my family. She listened without interrupting, and then she asked the only question that mattered. "Was the owner led to believe you had reviewed the animal's care plan?" "Yes," I said. Then this stopped being family nonsense and became animal harm. That sentence settled everything in me. My mother would later try to make this about loyalty. Lauren would try to make it about her dream. My father would make it about overreaction. But Daisy had been hurt under a false promise of veterinary oversight. An animal's pain had been hidden under my name. That is not sibling drama. That is a professional violation with a living creature at the center. I audited before reacting emotionally. State Veterinary Board complaint file, website screenshots, pet intake forms, grooming incident logs, copied signature source, vaccination record gaps, insurance file, client payment records, booking platform listing, family texts, cached pages of Harbor Paws premium service menu. I found the listing Lauren, though by that point she felt like every sister in every betrayal story had tried to delete. Premium pet wellness grooming supervised by Dr. Emily Carter. I found an add-on fee for vet-guided comfort support. I found my copied signature lifted from the old shelter intake checklist I had shown her years earlier. Then Mia, Lauren's grooming assistant, called me. She sounded shaky and guilty. "Emily, I think you need to know. Owners were told you reviewed special needs pet plans," she said. "Lauren said you preferred to stay behind the scenes." Then she forwarded the text thread that made my stomach turn. Lauren had written to my mother. Emily said no license use. Vivian replied, "Use it until there's a problem. Owners trust a vet." Lauren wrote, "What if she finds out?" Mom answered, "She'll be mad. Then she'll fix it because she won't let an animal get hurt." There it was. My ethics as leverage, my compassion as the trap. My family had counted on the exact thing that made me careful to make me controllable. I sent one formal non-consent statement that night to the State Veterinary Board, the pet spa insurer, the booking platform, and the animal rescue ethics contact who had hosted my workshop. I stated that I had not supervised Harbor Paws, had not reviewed or approved premium grooming protocols, had not authorized use of my veterinary license, title, signature, bio, or any representation of medical oversight, and had not reviewed Daisy Delaney's care plan or incident record. I attached my written refusal, the copied signature comparison, the website screenshots, the booking add-on, Mia's texts, and the complaint materials. One statement, one boundary, one blue paw print keychain lying beside the first honest record in the whole mess. At 10:47 p.m., my mother called. She did not say hello. "What did you tell the board investigator?" she demanded. I answered on speaker because Rosa was sitting across from me at that point, calm and dangerous in the way good mentors become when truth finally enters a room. "The truth," I said. My mother inhaled sharply. "Emily, do you understand what you are doing to your sister? Do you understand what she did to a dog owner?" Lauren grabbed the phone next. "You're making it sound like I mutilated a dog. A dog was injured during a premium service sold under my veterinary oversight. It was a minor issue." Rosa's expression changed at that phrase. Then my father came on with his predictable old line. "Stop turning pet care into a legal problem." I almost laughed because even then, with a hurt dog and a fake veterinary signature in the file, he still thought the problem was my seriousness. Then my mother made the mistake that exposed the whole mechanism. Owners were promised you reviewed the care protocols because it made them feel safe. There it was. Promised, reviewed, safe. Not misunderstood, not implied. Sold trust. Lauren started crying. "I was trying to build something good." "Then you should have built it honestly." My mother sharpened her voice. "Lauren's children depend on that spa income. Then Lauren should not have built it on my license." I gave them 72 hours. Remove my name and license from every file and page. Correct owner documents. Notify affected clients. Refund veterinary guided service fees. Preserve records. Sign a no-credential use agreement. My mother whispered, "Fix it." I said, "I am." Then I hung up. The smear campaign began by sunrise. Vivian told relatives and church friends that I was choosing paperwork over animals. She told people I was jealous because Lauren had built a warm pet care business while I only worked in exam rooms. That line hit exactly where she intended. Only worked in exam rooms. As if the exam room was not where trust, fear, grief, diagnosis, and pain often meet. Lauren posted a vague message about women tearing down women and how success attracts bitterness. Pet owners commented with heart emojis and praise. One wrote, "Harbor Paws has such a loving spirit. Don't let negative people stop your mission." I saved every screenshot. Rosa told me, "Do not argue in rooms where no one has to keep records." She was right, but I still nearly broke that afternoon. I thought about Daisy. I thought about Lauren's staff. I thought about her children hearing that I had destroyed their mother's business. I thought about the sick family habit of making me the last wall between someone else's lie and the consequences they earned. Then Karen Delaney emailed me again. "I trusted the premium care package because your name was there," she wrote. "I need to know who actually stood behind my dog's care." That sentence settled it. My name had been placed exactly where trust would land and blame would follow. The private truth room happened the next evening at my apartment table. Lauren arrived first, pale and furious, carrying a thick binder of Harbor Paws records like thickness could become honesty. My mother came behind her with a tray of muffins I did not touch. My father followed, annoyed in the way men like him get annoyed when facts make their usual minimization impossible. Mia came too, and Lauren's whole face changed when she saw her. Rosa sat beside me. On the table were Daisy's complaint, the copied intake signature, the old shelter intake checklist, website screenshots, incident log gaps, premium service fee sheet, Mia's text thread, the grand opening audio, Rosa's note, and the blue paw print keychain. My mother looked at the table and said, "This is excessive." "No," I said. "This is what honest pet care looks like when someone gets hurt." Lauren sat down and started quickly. "You helped me with forms. Advice is not veterinary supervision. You know I care about these pets. Then why sell owners my name? I never wanted anyone hurt. Then why promise review you never had?" My father rubbed his forehead. "Emily, this is family." Rosa finally spoke. "Animal pain does not become less real because sisters are involved." My mother turned to her. "And who are you?" "The veterinarian who taught Emily not to hide an animal's pain behind someone else's comfort." That silenced the table for one clean second. I placed the copied signature beside the old shelter checklist. Same angle, same pressure, same clipped loop at the end of my last name from the scanned original. "This was copied," I said. Lauren looked at the table. My mother said, "Maybe you signed something and forgot." I placed the website timestamp beside my animal rescue workshop attendance record. This page listing me as veterinary supervisor was uploaded while I was teaching owners how to verify grooming safety claims. Mia then slid her phone forward and opened the text thread. "Use it until there's a problem. She'll fix it because she won't let an animal get hurt." My father muttered, "Private messages shouldn't be used like this." I looked at him. Private lies shouldn't be put on public care forms. Lauren reached for the motherhood defense next. "You don't know what it's like to build something when you have kids depending on you." I looked at her for a long moment. "You don't know what it's like to have an injured animals file sitting under your license when your hands were never there." My mother snapped, "You are so cold." I picked up Rosa's note and read it aloud. A veterinary license is not comfort language. It is a promise that an animal's pain will not be hidden. Then I placed the blue paw print keychain next to Daisy's photo. My clean name was not your pet safety label. Lauren started crying. Do you want Harbor Paws shut down? I want Harbor Paws honest. My father said, the dog is limping. She isn't dying. Rosa's voice cut through the room like a clean incision. Do not reduce pain to protect a lie. The room went still. That was the moment they all realized this was no longer a family disagreement. A real injured animal sat at the center of the story, and none of their usual language could move her out of it. I repeated the terms: remove me, notify owners, refund premium care fees, preserve records, no use of my name or license. Lauren whispered, if this goes public, I'll lose everything. I answered, you put my name on an animal's care plan. Public already started. The State Veterinary Board review and pet spa insurance meeting happened 3 days later in a plain conference room with a long laminate table and a faded poster about animal handling on the wall. Present were the board investigator, an insurer representative, a booking platform compliance officer, Rosa, Mia, Lauren, Vivian, Robert, and me. Daisy's owner did not attend, but her complaint file and photographs did. I was grateful. Pet owners should not have to sit through the emotional theater of the families who deceived them. The investigator opened by saying Harbor Paws' corrective response had been frozen after my non-consent statement. My mother immediately said, this is a family misunderstanding. I had expected exactly that. Family misunderstanding is the phrase people use when they want deliberate use to sound like fog. Lauren said, Emily helped me create our protocols and then pulled away when there was a complaint. The investigator turned to me. Did you act as veterinary supervisor for Harbor Paws? No. Did you authorize use of your license or title? No. Did you review Daisy Delaney's intake or care plan? No. Did you sign the form attached to this complaint? No. Clean questions, clean answers. The room shifted immediately. I laid out the documents in order: written refusal, website screenshots, booking add-on, intake forms, incident log, copied signature comparison, old shelter checklist, Mia's texts, grand opening audio. Rosa explained that veterinary supervision requires actual oversight, actual review, and actual responsibility, not a sister's general advice used after the fact as marketing language. The insurer representative reviewed the premium service fee and said coverage assumptions may have been influenced by the representation of veterinary oversight. The booking platform officer confirmed Harbor Paws had promoted a premium, veterinarian-guided service tier. Lauren tried to say the injury was unfortunate but minor. The investigator replied, the injury is one matter, unauthorized veterinary representation is another. That sentence separated the emotion from the record so cleanly that even my mother went silent for a moment. The face-slap-proof moment came when Lauren claimed I had verbally agreed during the grand opening brunch. I played the audio. My mother's voice filled the room first. You have no kids, Emily. Let your license help someone who actually has a family to build. Then my voice followed clearly. My license is not a family favor. The investigator did not react outwardly, which somehow made it worse for my family. Then I placed the website upload timestamp beside my workshop attendance record, proving the page listing me as veterinary supervisor had gone live while I was teaching an animal rescue seminar on exactly how to verify care claims. Mia confirmed that owners were told I reviewed premium care plans. People paid extra because they believed a veterinarian stood behind it, she said. My mother whispered, Mia, stop. Mia answered, Daisy got hurt. The room went still again. There are sentences that do not need volume. The investigator looked directly at Lauren. Were you aware Dr. Emily Carter had not consented to being listed? Lauren hesitated, looked at my mother and said, I thought she would help if there was a complaint. There it was. The whole family system in one sentence. Use me first. Count on my conscience after harm appears. My father said nothing. My mother looked down. Rosa rested one hand on the blue paw print keychain as if to steady the table itself. The consequences came in professional language, which is often the heaviest kind. The state board removed me as listed veterinary supervisor and documented my non-consent. Harbor Paw's corrective response remained paused, pending accurate owner notifications, record correction, and review of its handling and incident reporting procedures. The booking platform suspended Harbor Paw's premium wellness listing until veterinary claims and owner materials were corrected. The insurer required updated documents and a review of service fees connected to false medical supervision claims. Affected pet owners had to be notified that I had never supervised Harbor Paws. Premium fees tied to veterinarian-guided services had to be reviewed and, where appropriate, refunded. Lauren's local, mom-owned Pet Spa Success feature was canceled after the board review came to the attention of the writer. My mother cried in the hallway and said, "You ruined your sister's future." I looked through the glass at Lauren signing acknowledgement forms. "No," I said. "I stopped her from selling trust she did not have." My father said, "You could have fixed it quietly." I answered, "Quiet is how Daisy got hurt." The fallout was loud, then strangely clarifying. My mother told relatives I had chosen paperwork over animals. Lauren told people I had attacked her dream. Some owners were angry with her. Some were angry with me at first, because my name had been the reason they trusted the form. Karen Delaney emailed me after the review and wrote, "I blamed you at first because your name was there. Now I understand that was the point." I printed that email and kept it with Rosa's note. It hurt because it was true. My name had been placed where trust would land and blame would follow. Harbor Paws did not disappear overnight. Real life rarely gives that kind of neat ending. Lauren lost the premium listing for a while. She had to correct owner documents, notify clients, refund certain fees, retrain staff, and show proper incident handling procedures before the board would move forward. Some owners left. Some stayed because they liked her and believed she could improve. That was their choice, now made with accurate information. Accuracy was always the thing I wanted. My family had treated it like betrayal until the state required it. Rosa helped me turn the whole experience into something useful. At first, I resisted. I did not want to become the veterinarian whose sister stole her license. Rosa listened and then said, "Then don't teach betrayal. Teach pet owners what to ask before they hand over the leash." So we created the Blue Paw Pet Safety Guide with a local animal rescue nonprofit. We taught pet owners how to verify veterinary claims, read grooming consent forms, ask about emergency protocols, check vaccination records, question premium pet wellness services, and understand that loving pets like family means nothing if no one can tell you who is actually responsible when a pet is frightened or hurt. The first line of the guide was Rosa's sentence: "A veterinary license is not comfort language. It is a promise that an animal's pain will not be hidden." The second line was mine: "A veterinary license is not a family favor." At the first workshop, I placed the blue paw print keychain on the table. A rescue volunteer asked why I used that as the symbol. I said, "Because care starts long before the leash changes hands." A dog owner in the front row asked what to do if a spa says a veterinarian supervises the care, but the veterinarian is never present. Rosa answered, "Ask for the record. Warm branding is not medical oversight." That line went into the next edition. We added sample questions. Who reviews special care pets? What happens if my dog shows stress or pain? Who calls me before a service continues? Is the person named on this form actually involved? Can I verify that directly? Simple questions. Questions that protect animals from marketing language dressed up as safety. Lauren and I are not close now. We are polite at holidays in the careful way families become polite when the record has already said what they refuse to say. My mother still calls it the harbor pause misunderstanding. My father still thinks I made it too official. I still practice veterinary medicine. I still volunteer at rescue workshops. I still believe warmth matters in animal care. I also believe warmth without responsibility is how pain gets hidden. I keep the blue paw print keychain on my desk. Sometimes, before a pet safety workshop, I hold it in my hand and remember the grand opening brunch, my mother's voice, Lauren's silence, Daisy's injured paw, Mia's shaking hands, the board investigator's clean questions, and the moment my sister admitted she thought I would help if there was a complaint. They did not think I agreed. They thought I would absorb. A family that calls your boundaries selfish while hiding animal safety risk under your license does not want help. It wants trust without consent. My clean name was not her pet safety label. My childless life was not spare capacity for her dream. My veterinary license meant an owner could trust that an animal's pain would not be hidden, and I will never let anyone turn that promise into family currency again. If your family used your professional name to reassure owners and then called you cold for telling the truth after an animal got hurt, would you still call that support? And if the little blue paw print keychain that once marked your first shelter rescue became the warning that taught pet owners to ask who really stands behind a care plan, would you put it away to keep the peace?